Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the White Dragon podcast. It's your host, Yoni Yamani, and I'm here today with another episode. We're going international right now. I know that you've seen me do a lot of in-person interviews with people from Chile, but today we go abroad to Sweden with Simon Widblom. He is a digital entrepreneur, and we met through Instagram. I feel like that's just the perfect way to describe it. He had to wait for me for a little bit because I had exams to kind of accomplish and finish off. But here we are today to talk and just to really much learn about something new, a very passionate human being that I got to meet on a phone call, as he usually does. And I'm just excited. So thank you, Simon, for coming into the podcast.
Yeah, it's my honor to be here, really. So, my name is Simon, exactly as you said, and I've been a digital entrepreneur now full time for around 12 months. So yeah, it has been a really fun journey to just do something new, do something that most people are not doing.
Yeah. Do you want to start by defining what is a digital entrepreneur for you, for people who just don't know what this comes from and like where it comes from,
Yes. So digital entrepreneurship, I would say that it's a really broad, whatever you want it to be. It's basically it. But entrepreneurship for me is basically working for yourself, somebody that takes an idea and make it into something valuable for other people. And that is what I've been trying to do now for the last couple of months, because one of my dreams has always been to working online and just creating the life that I ever wanted to have.
I love that. You touched upon something that really in our phone call just was remarkable, which you started talking about dreams right away. And I want to ask you, because I know that your dreams weren't always digital entrepreneurship. So if you can take us back to a little bit about your childhood, what you like to do and what you thought life would kind of play out.
Yes. So, I've been always, wanted to become a professional athlete, as I know a lot of people want. I've always been the kind of person that, the coach says, do 10 push-ups. I always did 11 because I always had that mindset that if I know that nobody can outwork me, I need to work hardest in the room to become something that I want to become. But I would say that everything started when I was around 7 years old, and me and my mom was going to meet her best friend, and I don't know about you, but I personally, I hate going to hospitals. That's the worst thing ever. I feel sick when I go in there. Of course, it's great that there is out there, but that's not my vibe. And when I was 7 years old, I never met an adult that that had cancer before. So I always thought that they were, unstoppable and so on. So for me, it was a real strange feeling. But we went into the room there, and me and my mother started to talk to her friend, and she said something to me. And that was Simon, when you play in the NHL, which is the highest performing league in ice hockey, and she said, when you play in the NHL, I want you to buy me a red Ferrari. And for me, I wasn't the most clever guy when I was 7 years old, and that's maybe explaining the thoughts that I had, because my first thought was okay, you have red hair and you want to have a red Ferrari. It doesn't match up, That was how clever I was. So but then later on, she asked my mother, can I talk by myself to Simon? And she said, of course. And then she told me, Simon, of course you don't need to buy me a red Ferrari, but she said something that really changed my life, my mind forever. And she said, of course you don't need to buy me a red Ferrari, but one thing you need to promise me, and that is that if you ever get the chance to create the life you want or to reach some of your dreams, you need to take it, because the only thing that you will regret in life is the things that you didn't do. The only things you will regret when you are in my seat is the things that you didn't do, not the things that you did and failed with. So that's something that have been with me, and I took it with me. When the ice hockey started to were put on ice, or whatever you want to say, Then I took it into this entrepreneurship world, and I always have a passion to help people. So yeah, that's where everything started with the ice hockey, and now I'm here.
Wow. I feel like that's such a powerful story to start with in your childhood, how this like just this adult figure comes into your life and maybe just like in a very special moment and tells you something that hits home way more than maybe what she would have imagined. Like maybe she hoped so, she really wanted to tell you her wisdom. And I feel like that's something I've recently like been entertaining the thought of like how healthy am I today, and I'm taking it for granted. Like I'm 22 years old and I get to follow my dreams and I get to pursue my passions, a little bit nonchalantly, a little bit maybe innocently, or maybe, like not really evaluating the risks or whatever, or maybe just passionately, como it all depends. But I really, really like that story. Thank you for sharing. How does that evolve then? Because we talked about ice hockey and the fact that you wanted to be an athlete. How does that kind of play out after you finish school and you go into your adult years?
Yes, so it was basically, as I said, like I always wanted to become something big, and yeah, I always, as I said, like the hardest working person, and I understood 1.5 years ago that I wasn't really on the level that I needed to be. I don't know if you ever have had the feeling to go 100% into something and really give everything you can, but still fail. That's a feeling that it's really not that fun. And I saw some of my friends become professional, and so for me, I was really lost in life. I got corona myself, so I was really lost in life, didn't know what to do. So I was sitting or scrolling on my phone, and then suddenly like an advertisement came up on Instagram, like, "Do you want to learn how to make money online?" You see it every single day. So I thought like, yeah, this is probably a scam as everything else. But I understood that, if I have a closed mind, that's the most expensive thing that you can have, especially when you are broke and don't have the life that you want. You need to have an open mind. So I thought like, okay, let's just jump on a call together with this person, and then he started to talk. I was really in attacking mode because I was really skeptical about all of this, because my mother has always told me everything on the internet is a scam, or doesn't work. But scam only stands for still confused about money or still cooking at McDonald's. So that's so I jumped on a call and he started to talk, and I was searching for one word, and that was get rich quick. So I was just sitting there and listening, and then suddenly the question came, like, "Simon, do you want to get rich quick?" And in my mind I was like, yeah, I knew it all the time. You tried to fool me, But I had my poker face, like, yeah, of course, who wouldn't like to become rich quick, and so on. But then he said something also that really got me into everything, and that was that he told me like, okay, I don't know if you can swear on this podcast, but then you can get the fuck out of this call, because this is not it. If you're not willing to learn the language of wealth, if you're not willing to put in the work, you need to work 3 years as nobody wants, and then you can live the rest of your lives as nobody can. So that's something that really changed my mindset when it comes to late gratification and so on. So now 1.5 years later, I'm working full time with everything, and I'm just feeling that I'm becoming the person that I want to be more and more and more. Because the question to ask yourself on the job is not, what am I getting here? But the question to ask on the job is, who am I becoming here? And that's something that I really feel that I'm becoming the person that I want to be.
I love that. I feel like you've already laid out so many like topics of conversation that I can like just grab and ask. But I was hooked with something that you said earlier, that you said that you were always hardworking since a child, and the fact that you would do more push-ups, and that you saw your friends turn pro and you didn't. But like, my question here was, why have you always been hardworking? Where does that come from? Because I don't think that comes I don't know if that comes naturally to everyone. You must have like a reason or a pursuit or something inside of you that you kind of like told yourself when you were younger, like I just want to do more? So where does that hard work come from, you would say?
Yeah, it's hard to really say like the one reason. I think it's a lot of different things actually. Of course, a lot of things that you've been through, because I think that God put his strongest warrior through hell to get to heaven, and all those things. So I think you learn and grow from the past that you have been through. And one of the like reasons also where I can think about when I really became this person that I really started to go all in was that one summer when we have like what do you say, like summer
Vacation?
practice or whatever,
Okay.
like with the ice
Like,
hockey.
okay.
We're like training physical and stuff during the summer. Then I was always the last person when it came to sprinting, to all these different things. And then just one summer I decided to really go in for it, because one of my coaches, he was probably the worst person that I ever met,
Mhm.
but also the best person, because I think everything in life is perspectives. But he really, we were like running one, I don't know how to say it, if it's mile, but one yeah, I don't know exactly the length, but we were running with like a rock over our head, and we were like,
Wow.
not that not that old. So he really built this mindset for us that you can achieve everything that you want. And we were running uphill from a hill, and we were running down skiing. Yeah,
Yeah.
is it called that? Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. So when you are we were running upwards from that hill during the summer, and we were running first 3 times, and people in the team, they were like puking all over the place. They were like crazy, how like tired everybody was. And then when it came down the third time, he was like stone faced, and he said that, okay, now we're done 50% of everything. And people were like, no, you're kidding.
Mhm.
You can't be seriously. And then he said something also to me. I have so many mentors in my life, but he said to me like, Simon, it's impossible for you to not get up that hill 3 times more. It's totally impossible. And the worst thing that can happen is, as long as you take one step at a time, you don't need to sprint up, but as long as you take step by step by step, it's impossible for you. As long as you keep moving, it's impossible for you to fail. Because if you passed out or something, then you can just wake up again and keep going. It's impossible for you to not take one step forward. And that's exactly the same in life. It's impossible for you to not reach your goals in life, as long as you just take one step at a time. Of course, it's not going to be sprinting all the time, but just to take one step at a time, that will take you towards where you want to be. So I think that started to grow my mindset. And in the end of that summer, actually, I was always top 3 in all the different areas. So I think that summer really changed everything for me. He was a special person, but also he built a little bit of who I am today.
I love that. And I feel like the quote that you mentioned, or just like this symbology of like taking one step at a time. I'm a very big movie fan, and growing up with my brother and my dad, we would watch Rocky. And the last or the second to last movie of Rocky that he's building, Creed, there's like this powerful saying that says, one step, one punch, one round at a time. And that like ingrains my soul. Like I live through that. And so I feel like it's so funny and also so beautiful how we can connect through something so similar in different perspectives, me through a movie that like really hit home, and you through the physical activity of it. But I really like that, and it really resonates with me. And that's cool. Like the fact that your mentor, or just one of the people that kind of changed your life, wasn't the nicest, wasn't the most caring, was just maybe formed a different way, a little bit more disciplined, a little bit more, maybe that was his role. Like he didn't need to be the nice one. He needed to be the one that kind of proved to you your capabilities.
Yeah, I just need to add something there, because it's really
Yeah.
funny that
Yeah.
Rocky is actually one of my favorite movies, and I have a tattoo. I don't know if you can
Really?
see it here.
Okay.
A text here. I don't know if you see it, where it says, "It's not about how hard you can hit; it's about how hard you can get hit and keep
And
moving
keep moving
forward."
forward.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly. I have it
I love
tattooed.
that. I love that.
So,
How old were you when you watched the first movie or those movies?
ooh, I don't know. I don't know. It was. I think I watched a lot of movies when I was younger. Like
Okay.
my dad was sitting and translating English into Swedish, so
Mhm.
I was pretty young, I think.
That's crazy. That's crazy how we connected through a movie. I love that. My brother here is like, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So let me ask you something that really kind of like stuck out for me when we called was the fact that you asked me what's my dream life like. And I've heard
Mm.
you repeated times already, and that's something that I'm like I love about you already is the fact that you're constantly in pursuit of your dreams and you expose that, you show that online. That's kind of your brand, that's your mission, maybe that's your why. We're gonna get into the why after this. Um,
Yeah.
but I want to ask you, what does your dream life look like?
I think I'm like, you know, I I don't know if you say a boring way. I have like, of course, every single day it's different. I just want to like the end goal for me is to when I'm around 80 years old. I just want to sit on a bench a park bench. In Portugal, just look out over the ocean and just smile to myself and feel like, yeah, I really did it. Like I did everything that I ever wanted to do. I have all the cars, all the watches. I've been to all the places. I've experienced all the thing that I ever wanted to do. So I think that's like the end thing. But my dream life right now and what it was when I was playing ice hockey is to, just have a big white mansion in LA, a big white yacht, and stand there and party with Drake. That's
I love that.
So
I love
yeah.
that. And I feel like the next question that's not hard to think is how do you stay concentrated and motivated? Because we both know it takes a while. It's not instantaneous. This is a grind, it's a work in progress, it's a step at a time. We've talked about all these things. So I know I feel like sometimes it's easier said than done. We definitely go through phases and cycles where we're like super motivated and we can go all in for maybe 2 weeks, and then one day we wake up a little different, and like maybe the momentum is a little slower that day. So I want to ask you, how do you stay motivated? Like what are your tactics or tools for that?
Yeah. So I think motivation is feeling as everything else. You can't be motivated every single day, and that's nothing that works because you can't. If you've been in a relationship, you fall in love, but that it's not every single day that you are like, yeah, this is the best thing. And that's the same thing with motivation. It's like having gasoline over fire. It's burning up and then it's coming down. So I think it's how to stay motivated. I think you make a life of what you get, but you make no. I think you make a what is it? I think you make a living of what you get and the life of what you give. That's the saying. So I think that something that keeps me on going every single day is to help other people to go after what they want in life, because I actually think that we rather do something for somebody else rather than we do it for ourselves. Because when I was working as a carpenter, as I was doing 1 year, to go up to the job, to show up at the exactly same time, that was something it was simple. I know that I need to be here. But when you're working for yourself, for example, you can look at the alarm clock and like, let's take 30 minutes more or something like that. And so I think it's easier to when you have people around you that are believing in you, and you need to fight for them every single day. That's one of the reasons to stay motivated, to not just have it by yourself, because you will meet something that is a lot bigger than you, a lot tougher than you, and then you will quit. But you need to have a strong why.
Okay, so let's get into that, the strong why. When we talked, you recommended this book that I've been listening to in Spotify. That's Know Your Why. So I want to ask you, what's your why? Like, why did this even, maybe how did this book even come into your life? What made you want to like listen to it or read it, and how do you incorporate it today?
Yeah, so it was actually one of my mentors that exposed it for me. Different books starts with the why, so Simon Sinek, and started to understand also that everything that you do in life needs to start with the why, because as I said, you will meet something that is a lot bigger than you, a lot tougher than you, and that will make you quit. But I have so many things that I want to do. I want to leave a legacy. I want to do these different things. And I think actually a why, of course, why stands for will help you. That will help you through the tough times. But also I think that when it comes to the why, a thing that a lot of people don't mention is, they maybe do this because they want to get that and want to do this, but I don't see it as a negative thing. But the only, how should I explain it? Like, you can do something because you want to have a feeling, right? But you can also do something because you have a feeling that you don't want to have. So people take action for two reasons, and that is for inspiration or desperation. So I think that one of the reasons also is because I always wanted to be somebody. I always just wanted to be somebody. I heard a quote from Muhammad Ali that said one time that this kid is going to be the best kid in the world. This kid is going to be better than somebody ever knew. And I must show you how great I am. That's the mentality that I have. So I don't know if you can say that as one of the things, but it's a lot of things. As you
Right.
also know, it's a lot of things to keep me going.
Mm-hmm. When you say this kid is gonna, I don't know the quote specifically, but it's something along the lines of like, this kid's gonna be amazing. This sort of validation, do you seek it internally or externally, or is it a combination of both?
I think it's internally, because like everything starts from the inside and out. Because when you start to work from the inside and out instead of the outside and in, you start to understand your why, your what, and your how. So I think that everything starts from the inside. Like your entire life starts from the inside. That's the thing. And the surroundings that you have, that is what you say yes to, because your eyes, what's the three last letter in eyes? It's yes. So everything that you see, you say yes to. So that's also why I have this picture of a dream board, all these different things that you want to achieve. Be really aware of your average of 5, who you surround yourself with, because your surrounding is who you become. You're a reflection of the 5 closest people. So
Right. I was going to ask you, because you mentioned when you, in your sense of motivation, or why you continue to do things and stay a little bit more grounded, is because you have something bigger than yourself that you're seeking towards, and that also has to do with helping others. And I know that you belong to this group and you help and you do classes or you do calls. So if you can explain that a little bit, and then how have these like people contributed into your life? Because I imagine, or I can hypothesize the fact that you guys are all in the same wavelength. You guys think the same, do the same, and are seeking towards this constant like self-pursuit of just getting better.
Yeah, so I don't want to promote anything on your podcast, but yeah, definitely I can talk about a little bit what I do. So we are dealing with financial education, basically, because I think that money that's not the thing that's going to make you happy, but it's really important. It's up there with oxygen, because if you don't have money, you will die. So I think it's important to know that. Don't be ashamed of saying that, yeah, I want to have a lot of money, but it's not money that's going to make you happy. So that's something that we are basically within trading, day trading, crypto, online marketing, drop shipping. There's a lot of different things, because the world is evolving right now, and we're living in the biggest change in the human's history. And I don't want to be the person when my grandkids is coming up to me and telling me like, Simon, what did you do through the biggest change in the human's history? Like, what did you do to create the life that you wanted? And I'm going to sit on my hands like, yeah, I didn't do anything, because my friends old schoolmates told me that it was bad to do something online. And I don't want to be that person. So that's what I'm doing. We are helping a lot of young entrepreneurs to get into both financial markets and also like just create a life that they want. Because as I said, I just genuinely love to help people. So that's a little bit about what we're doing.
Awesome. I love that. Simon, if you could go back to maybe that version of yourself, or just like a few years ago, where you still thought you were going to be a pro athlete, until today, what do you think has been the biggest mindset shift, and like looking back to the present day?
The biggest shift for me was that before 1.5 years ago, I never read a single book in my entire life. In school, I wasn't the brightest student at all. And I never taken notes in my entire life. And afterwards, one of my mentors told me that an average American reads about 1 book a year, but an average millionaire read about 3 books a month. So you better start reading. You better start putting in knowledge into your brain, because it's you who set your mindset. Mindset is mindset. It's you who set your own mindset, and whatever you conceive on a daily basis is what you're going to get. So start getting some good information in there instead of just going out and party and all this stuff. So I think definitely the personal development. I don't think it's exceed as far away from your income. The more valuable you are to the marketplace, the more you are going to get paid in the marketplace also. So I think work harder on yourself than you do on the job. Read books and develop yourself every single day.
We had a little break, but that's okay. Simon, I want to continue talking about your journey and your hustle, and I also want to talk about the difficulties. I feel like we've talked about all the niceness, all the pursuit of greatness, the inspiration, the motivation, the wisdom, all these like positive things, but I'm also interested in those moments in time where you maybe felt doubt, maybe you felt you were tired, maybe you questioned, like, is this what I want? Like, walk me through maybe one of those days or just a point in time.
Yes. So it's of course as everything else, nothing is just a straight line upwards. It's always going to be pullbacks in whatever you're doing in life. And I think one of the number one hardest thing to do, I don't know if it is like that for everybody, but for me it was the environment, the people around me, because your friends and family won't support you until strangers start to celebrate you. I think that is one of the hardest thing, when the business or whatever you're doing is not going as planned, and you haven't get some results, and your friends are starting to doubt you, they're talking down on you, and everything else. That's also why it's really important to have a strong like reason why you're doing something, because when it's dark outside, even your shadow leaves you. So to really go into it. So one of the days that has been like hard for me is that's the day when I have a mentor. That's the days when I have somebody to talk to. Because if you always take decision out of your own mind, out of what you're thinking, you're always going to be at the same spot as you are also. So I think it's really important that you spend time with a mentor that have the results that you want to have, that you spend time with people that doesn't have the results that you have, so you can learn people. You spend time with yourself, and you also spend time with your family. So like 25 on all those different things. So when I have had a hard time, I always go back to just thinking, because I'm a thinker. I wouldn't say that I was the an action taker right away. And there's 3 different types of people that make things happen, people that watch things happen, and then as some of my friends that say, what the heck just happened. And I think I was one of the person that just watched things happen before, and now I've taken the step to action taking. So yeah, it's, I would say, when you have like a really really hard time,
Mm-hmm.
that's I've also helped a girl in another country that were like in a really bad situation. I'm going to have a speech actually in Stockholm next week about that. But yeah, she was in a really really dark place, and what I told her was to, when everything is south, but really when you have, she, do you want me to go through that story? No, I can
Go.
just.
Yes, just go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, there was this girl then, that she lived in a small city with a lot of insecurities, and she didn't have somebody to to talk to and so on. And the only real relationship she has been to was a relationship with a abusing boyfriend. So she had like a really rough background and so on. And the only really person that she really trusted was her cousin that also lived in a small city. And one day they decided that we need to make more, we need to have some more like excitement in our life. So let's take the car and just drive to Sweden, because she lived in Norway. So to drive to Sweden to ski. So the days, they were really excited about everything. Days went by, and then suddenly the day came where they were going to travel. So they jumped into the car, but what she didn't knew was that that day was going to change her life forever. So they were driving, and it was like a snowstorm, really icy road, and when they come to like where the road was bending, they went through the ceiling because the brakes didn't take, so they went through the ceiling.
Wow.
Luckily it wasn't that kind of a big jump for the car. Yeah, exactly. But unfortunately her cousin didn't make it. So I don't know if you've been through a situation where when it feels like all opportunities in life, everything is just gone. The only person that you really trust, they really care about, is just gone. So she, as everybody starts to do in that situation, is that they start to call, and start to have connection with that person because they want to share that they care. And I was the same. I started to text her and like, hello, doing some bad jokes because I'm really good at that. So she just to make her laugh and so on. Yeah. And we were setting up a time actually one night at 9 p.m. We were going to just small talk and so on, and then suddenly she didn't show up at that time. I didn't put too much focus into that. I was like, oh, okay, maybe she did something else. And then later that night I got a long text message, which I don't want to go into, but I was just up the whole night trying to get connection with her, like calling her every single time, all the time, like I don't know if you've ever been in a situation where you are doing everything that you can, but you still can't really control the outcome of everything. So you just need to have faith. And yeah, I was literally up the entire night trying to get in contact. I didn't get in contact. I was falling asleep, and then 2 p.m. the next morning, a girl called me, and she was crying, and that was her. And she said like, I saved her life. And I didn't know like, what do you mean? And she said like, yeah, I wrote I was reading the thing that you told me, that you forced me to write on the wall. And that was exactly, it's not about how hard you can get hit, but how hard you can hit. No, it's not. Yeah, exactly. You know the quote. Yeah. So that was the thing that she read. And from that day on, and she's alive today and everything. So I think it's really important who you have your environment around, that you are around people that really care about you, because when hard times comes, it's it's only that can really save you, because to be surrounded by people that want your best and so on. So I think that is, I told her to, when she was at the deepest, like, the only thing you can do is to, in the morning, you wake up and you tell 5 things that you are grateful for. Say 5 things that you're grateful for, and in the night also the same, because it's scientifically proven that when you say stuff that you're grateful for, when you are in grateful mood, the brain waves, it's impossible to have some negative emotions when you are grateful. So that's where you should start. If you have like a really, really, really hard time, start with gratitude. Gratitude is the best attitude. So that's for the people that going through hard times. Definitely start with gratitude and start taking step by step, and be grateful for what you have, because everybody can be grateful for something.
Well, thank you for sharing that story. That definitely is a story that's very deep and very hard to process sometimes for a few, especially regarding life and regarding why do we continue living, and especially in those dark moments. And something that came to mind was the fact that not everybody has like that friend or that group of friends, and we're not trying to romanticize have 10 people in your life that you love or that love you, like be surrounded by a group of people. It always, or sometimes it just can be one or two, like maybe a family member, maybe a friend, or maybe someone online just like you. It's crazy what just being online can do to you. Like I see so many people on TikTok and they share stories, and random strangers are commenting, and like it's crazy how like a random stranger can make your day way more than a person that I feel like that goes back to just connectivity, the fact that we're all like connected, we're all in this together. Like life is not as independent as we think, or we like to think. Yeah, I'm glad that you were able to help her out, and like I feel like you're much more than just a digital entrepreneur. You're like also a motivational speaker. You have like so much wisdom, just the way you carry yourself, or just, like I can tell that you've read a bunch of books, or you have like I dare to say you have like a very good memory, because you have all these sayings like top of head, and you express yourself like that. And it's crazy, at least for me, how one person by just being themselves can like give so much to other people. I don't know if you had that experience where you see someone, or you get to meet someone, and just by them being themselves, by what they do, how they take care of themselves, how they put effort towards life and their dreams, they're already giving and doing so much for other people, just inspiring them, setting the tone, and I totally see that in you. And I guess that the people that you're surrounded by and the people that you work with are similar in that sense.
Yeah, definitely they are. As I said, like, you become as the closest person that you surround yourself with. So I'm not smarter than anybody else. I just surrounding myself with, I would say, really successful entrepreneurs, really successful people. There is some, and not just one money wise, but also I think successful when it comes to like health and what you have in here and so on also. So everything, there's nothing new under the sun. All the things that I'm saying, every single thing that is out there in the world, there is nothing that is new. You just take from the person that have what you want, and then you do the same. It's simple. Do as they did, say as they said, and you will get what they have. So that's, in school we understand it, because I don't know like which age your listener is, but to be honest, at least in Sweden, everybody has cheated in school. Everybody has cheated in school sometime, and even if you have like helped somebody else in school, that's still cheating. And in school, we understand it. If you're sitting on a test, and you're sitting next to the dumbest person in the classroom, how many times are you doing that? It's like, I did it once, and that was the worst decision I've ever made. Because as I said, and I'm not telling you to do this, but I was not a good student. But in life, in school, we understand it. Don't sit to the person that are the smartest, sit to the person that have the results they want. But in life, it's like the opposite, because what do? We take advice from people when it comes to relationship that have never had a relationship themselves. We take financial advice from people who are working at a gas station that don't have the results that we want financial. We are, taking advice from people that don't have what we want. So it's like, I don't understand how we can get it in school, but in real life, we're doing the total opposite. We're surrounding ourselves with people that don't have what we want, and we're listening to them. If you buy their opinion, you buy their lifestyle. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I feel like that's such a nice way of putting it. So clear. Like, why are we buying from people who don't, or listening to people who don't have what we want? Like, that's such a simple way, simple statement to kind of process. And I feel like that has to do maybe more in the social online aspect with haters, with just people that just bring you down. It's like, are we really going to listen to those people? Do they really have what we want? Is it good? Is it being constructive? So I feel like what you just said kind of like applies to so many realms, honestly. Simon, I want to ask you about your like routine. Like, how does your day look like? How's the timing? How do you organize your schedule? Like, for example, yeah, I don't know, take me through your morning, for example, and I could continue asking questions.
Yes, of course. So I wish I had a really, really good routine,
Okay.
but I'm out travel, and this is not like an excuse, but I'm out traveling, and when I'm out traveling, it's I haven't been home in 7 months. I just been traveling around in different countries, and right now I'm in Copenhagen, Denmark, so I'm not home right now either. But yeah, so when you're traveling around a lot, I think the most important things to have inside your schedule is that you should always have something for your health. Try to build a lifestyle for your wealth also that you want to have, and then give your mom a compliment or something. Be with the call out to your family or something like that. So that's like the main pillars. And what I do is that I always, the day before, I always schedule everything up. So I have everything like scheduled up, because I understood that when I wasn't scheduled things up, it was really hard to really, I was active, but I wasn't productive. And the thing is that it's not about how many hours you put into work, but it's how much work you put into the hours. So if you know about I can do this 1 hour and be more productive than I would, if I hadn't scheduled anything in, and I can do it for 4 hours, I would still get more things done in 1 hour. So to really be clear and to schedule everything up that you want to do the day before, not the same day. And that is what I try to do when it comes to like my routines.
Awesome. Do you schedule reading time or just like knowledge into your schedule, or how does that come into play?
Yes. So as I said, I'm a really hard worker. I wake up, let's say, like how it should look like. I wake up at 9 a.m. and then before to 12, so I have 3 hours to work on myself, like work out, just having me time. And then from 12 to, I would say, around midnight, from 12 to midnight, it's IBO, income bringing IBA, income bringing activities, that I'm dealing with. And then from 0 to, let's say, 3 a.m. or something like that, depending on, because I love to be up in the nights. Then I'm reading books, listening to audios, developing myself. So yeah,
Wow.
that's how it looks like.
Wow. So you're like a night person, would you say? You
Uh,
work better at night?
yeah, I think so, because I think it's, when it comes to, I think my brain is just more relaxed when it's in the night. I don't know why. In the morning, I'm not like, I wouldn't say that you are a morning person or a night person, but I would rather say like, I get my best ideas in the night. I get breakthroughs in the night. When everything is quiet.
Yeah, I get it. I'm interested in asking you if you ever have meditated or you use meditation in your daily, or is that something that you're still not there?
I'm not doing it on a daily basis because I think that, you know, there's a time and place for everything, and I think there is different phases in your life. And if I would try to do every single thing, this is something that I realized like the last couple of days. If you're trying to do every single thing, you know, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do, you know, everything every single day. It sounds great, but that's not how it works in real life. So
Right.
let's say for 2 weeks right now, I'm going to maximize.
It's raining, isn't it?
Yeah, it's raining a little bit, and I think I need to start moving also. So I will talk at the same time when I'm walking. But yes, so where were I when it comes to, where did I say?
We were talking about meditation. Sorry. We were talking about meditation.
Yeah,
that there's
exactly.
A time and place.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everything. So, oh my God. Yes. So yeah, it was. I would say like meditation is really, really important, because if you want to understand yourself, to write things down and to meditate is so important. It's so, you know, underrated to have affirmations, to have these different things. And I know a lot of people think it's like hocus pocus when they talk about those stuff, but you know, listen to the people that have the results that you want. I can, you know, if you do deeply research about successful people, then you start understanding that, okay, maybe I shouldn't be so close-minded that I think that, you know, it's just hocus pocus and so on, because like every single night before I go to sleep, I see myself where I want to be. You know, I get the feeling, because the feeling creates the action, and the action creates the result. So yeah, I think it's really important with meditation and to calm down, or whatever you want to say.
Yeah, I love that. Simon, we're almost done with this podcast, and I know that you're walking, and I think it's the first time that I have a podcast of a person who's walking down the street. I love it. Visually, it's so interesting to watch. But my last question is a question that I repeat in every podcast, and I tell everyone, or I ask everyone, which is regarding authenticity. Personally, I kind of like to do this exercise where every year I choose a word that I want to like really work on deeply. And for me, this year was authenticity. So the question regarding is, for you, what does it mean to live an authentic life?
Can you try to like describe?
Authenticity?
I actually don't know what that word. Yeah.
Okay, authenticity. Okay, for me, authenticity. I can tell you what authenticity is for me. Authenticity for me is just being yourself, literally. We can Google the definition for sure. Authenticity, the meaning is the quality of being authentic, okay, genuine, original, or just being you. Okay. So for you, what does it mean to live like that, you know?
Yeah, I would say like the best way to figure it out is to change your environment, because as I said, like your environment creates who you are. So what I did also, I was just, you know, the best advice I can give is just, you know, go away for 1 month. I went to Barcelona, Spain, just to by myself, and then I suddenly didn't have anything that, you know, controlled me, because it takes 21 days to create a habit and 90 days to create a lifestyle. And I started to create my own like person that I wanted to be. So just to be yourself, I think it's like, and this is my philosophy, that people when they are like 3% themselves. The rest is just their environment. And the things that for me, for example, is the really who I am, is that I genuinely love to help people. And I think that doesn't matter in which kind of environment I am in. If I, you know, go to Africa and I stay there, I'm going to be formed by the people there. But I think that, you know, some qualities you have just genuinely in yourself. So I think to be like, what you said,
authenticity.
Exactly. Is just find out what you like to do, and and do it. Like,
Mhm.
don't judge people. Don't, and you need to be wise to do
Right.
that, but only to be wise, you can only get that from different experiences, to see things from different perspectives. So yeah, I think I don't know if it was a clear answer, but
I think it
yeah, to
was.
just be yourself.
Yeah,
If that
basically.
makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like your answer was very much towards your environment, and I think that's crazy. Like that's crazy in the best way. Like I feel like no one has put into words like that, or has had that observation of like you are the people that, like, you're your environment, you're the people that you're surrounded by, etc. So changing your environment can lead you to living a life more authentically or more just yourself, So I love that. Simon, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I really want to thank you for coming on this podcast and sharing your wisdom, sharing your story a little bit. Yeah, I'm super grateful.
Yeah, it was my honor,
Thank you.
definitely. Really, really nice to jump on here, and yeah, I'm looking forward to start listening to more of your podcast, because
Oh, thank
the
you.
people that are listening to this, shout out to you, because this is going to be one of the biggest podcasts in the future, and I knew it.
Oh, thank
So
you. I appreciate
yeah,
it.
just keep on.
Keep on. Thank you. Well, we'll finish this podcast in honoring both of our movies, and I'm gonna repeat the saying that we both like again. So if you are ever feeling a little down, just remember it's one step, one punch, one round at a time. So with that, I'll lead you and I'll let you I'll give all your handles on Instagram or where people can find you. Is Instagram your only platform?
I would say that is the main platform for me right now. Yes, but I'm trying to build my TikTok. But yeah,
Okay.
Instagram definitely.
I'm excited to see your TikTok. So I'll leave all of that below, just for available for people. And feel free to go text Simon anything. Tell him about the podcast. Tell him if you want help. He'll probably help you out. So yeah, we'll see each other sometime soon. Who knows? Life gives a lot of circles and turns around very fast. And I'll see all my followers and all the people listening. I'll see you in your next episode. Bye bye.